Here comes the boom. 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 When you're not gonna be there, and I'll be a car, like a serious Phillips and Filliator. We keep going on and on and on, pull your body down, walk up like together. So make them know we got a show thing going on. Feeling it fun and we no need that a salary. Pull up on the hammer, so nobody can follow it. And we no owe no apology. Well, I did more crimes, the war crimes, more times. In the war times, we wait for 4 times. You know what Sam here, and I'm such a bad man. But the boom, you never had it. Here comes the boom.
Hate to fade it out, but that's some DMX right there from the movie Belly. A lot of fun, that's all. Are you getting down? Hello, YouTube. How are you? What's my thoughts on funded accounts for beginners? Who's funding it? That's a big question. You talking about one of those websites where they say that you could win a contest and trade well and then they give you money? Well, that original premise was created by some guy that I knew, and he was a criminal. And what he would do was he would set up a bunch of rules. And he would say, hey, look, let me teach you how to trade. And you fund this account, and I will add some money to it, kind of similar to the conversation I've had with a bunch of people, except I'm not a criminal. The idea would be if you played by the rules, he would give you a funded account. So as soon as you did something that officially wasn't a part of the rules, you wouldn't just be shut down. You would lose the money that you put up. And they would say that, well, you didn't follow the rules, so now you're done. Yeah. Wow. You know that, dude? Yeah. Yeah. And it got to a point where I learned a little bit more about some stuff that I never ever imagined there would be such devious criminality. Because what they were doing, and again, I can't really comment because I'm not sure if it actually happened. This is what I was told, was they assumed that nobody would make money, right? So they put you on simulated accounts, telling you that they were real. So then when you would lose money, didn't matter. Your money wasn't even being used. They just took your money and they gave you a simulated account. If you made money, which they knew most people wouldn't, they would say, okay, yeah, you want to cash out? All right, well, they give you a reason not to cash you out, and then you would keep trading and inevitably lose anyway. That is just beyond criminal. Like, they weren't even giving you the chance to lose your own money. And then they just come up with some reason to shut you down. But I don't know anymore. I'm so jaded and cynical and not trustworthy that as long as they don't ask you for money, do it. Because when they start asking you for money, you say no. Don't ever send money, right? Unless it's to fund your account, to make sure you're not paying some fee or entering a contest with all kinds of stipulations, and they'll just tell you that they'll point out something that you didn't read, because nobody reads the contracts. You just sign those things, right? Nobody reads that stuff, right? So the only way to really do it is to have a rich uncle. I know you just laughed, but that's really the best thing. Or they're changing the rules. The pattern day trader rule is going to end soon, so it's per trade. I don't know what that means, but that's what I read. But soon you won't have to have $30,000 in an account to trade. You'll be able to trade. I think it said each trade would be independent from the next. So as long as you didn't go over the margin requirements per trade, I don't know exactly what the rule change is going to be. But as far as these contests, right. And I contact them all because if there's a contest, I want to be involved. This last guy is a futures contest. I was like, hey, I could trade futures. So I asked if I could enter the contest without paying the fee because I don't need to learn how to trade. I just want to be in the contest. And they said no. So I was like, why? And I didn't hear a reply. Scam. Scam. And that was through Ninja Trader. They had a deal with Ninja Trader to set up something, and I wanted just to participate with no strings attached. Sorry, no, Ninja Trader actually it was an affiliate of Ninja. Ninja Trader was all right. They actually did have a website where you could join for free and screw around with some futures trade. I think you couldn't enter certain areas of different contests without paying a fee. But there was somebody, I forgot the guy who it was. But yeah, the best thing to do is, well, if you can, you stay small. Stay small, just trade within your means. If I can get, we have a member, well, they don't come around too much anymore, but they took a $7,000 account, about 2.5, 3 years ago, and have made, up to 30,000 right now. Very impressive. 100 share lots, even 20 share lots of trading Tesla, even like 4 shares in Netflix. It can be done. This person's living proof. Very impressive. Just buying dips on the Qs, staying with the big stocks, earnings reversals on the big stocks. 2.5 years later. It's not a huge amount of money, but think about it. $7,000 account turned into 30,000. What's the crime? Well, the crime is not having your money in the market and telling you that you do. That's a crime. And then just coming up with reasons. And then he changed the name of the company, just shut down the whole company once and took everybody's money, and then reformed and created another company and said, "Oh no, we went out of business. You will all lose." But that was like 20 years ago. I don't know what the story is, but there are rules that are changing now. And, again, I know it's been a slow process for me. I'd like to get a couple of guys, but it's harder than you think because I can't get what I used to have is a master account and be able to divide that account into sub accounts. You can't even do that any longer. In one account, I can't have more than one Thinkorswim account going. I'd have to open up 19 different accounts. It's annoying, but forget that conversation. But let's take a look at this on semiconductor right now, homies, right? This is what it's all about. Trade never fails, baby, right? And I'll tell you one thing that has remained constant: less is more. All right, so let's go on. Let's talk about something important. Not that funded accounts is not important or who's a criminal or not. We're all criminals. Everyone's a criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm the worst. What I do to my own account is criminal. I should be shut down from criminal negligence of what I've done to my own life. But it ain't about me blowing shit up with UVXY naked calls last year. It's about staying focused now. I'm on a mission, and I'm really serious about it. I'm on a mission, right? I'm on a mission to stay focused. We got a trade that works every time. All right. It's not about what you think is going to happen tomorrow. We all know the market's probably going to go up for the next 3 or 4 years. And I think I'm going to be right by seeing it up 100% across the board. Now that your stock will be up 100%, your stock will probably suck. The market will go up. The Dow will be at 80,000. The Qs will be at 1,100, 1,200. And the SPYs, well, I don't even know what the SPYs are. It all depends. I mean, to me, it's the Qs is the whole market. So I really think the Qs are going to be $1,000 within less than 4 years. Because the same commentary, like JC's always making fun of the magazine covers and all that stuff. It really is the most redundant, monotonous conversation, because the same conversation that we had 10 years ago about how overpriced the market was is the same conversation we're having now. So it's 3 years from now, it'll be the same conversation and the Qs will be trading at $1,000. It'll be the same. Hey man, my stocks suck. Right. Because if you're not part of the club, which would be the NASDAQ 100, there's 100 stocks. If you're not in that 100, you stink. Right? Most stocks look like USAR. You have a nice run. Everybody gets excited. And then you crash. Does it come back? Who knows? Who cares? Right? It was fun while it lasted. We got short on the way back down. Never thought I'd see the stock under 22.50. Here it is at $17. Same thing goes for anything that, and by the way, I will not own stocks, SRAD, no matter what price it is today. And tomorrow I'll be done with this stock and we'll see how they react after the earnings report. I don't like it. I don't like the way it's acting. I don't like stocks that aren't going up in a bull market. Clove, I still own it. I've owned it for a year. It probably won't get taken over at $8.50. That was the reason I bought it in the first place. But it's been a really great trade. $250 got paid, $250 got paid, $250 got paid. Had a 30 bagger in it last week. Ain't bad. I just don't want to hold stocks into earnings because I don't want to be on the other side of a trade that I want to take. For instance, if SRAD for some reason gaps up and rolls over, I don't want to care about my portfolio because I'm going to be crushing the stock. Earnings reversals are what makes money. So I have, just trying to stay focused. And I'm also trying not to trade these turns and bullshit, these stocks like biotech stocks in the beginning of the day. You're just going to lose. You're going to lose. I mean, it looks like it went straight up, but these were $2 rips. If you bought it at $11.50 and then it plummeted to $9 and change, you probably got crushed right there or here. I'm just not doing it. Because if I haven't mentioned, I got a trade that works every single time it shows up, not just once in a while, every time. And it works even on stocks that have reported earnings like SFM. So here's SFM from a couple of days ago. Who even knows what Sprouts Farms is? Right. Doesn't matter. The only reason we're watching this and the reason that we have it on our algo is that the company reported earnings a couple of days ago. And that residual activity usually hangs over the stock for a couple of days. So I'll go back and check some stocks that we traded because we traded this one fairly nicely. I believe it was on Thursday. Was this the one that got smoked? Yeah, we had a couple of winning trades. It really didn't do too much, but we got paid once or twice. right? It was Friday. No, it's Thursday. Here's Friday. So here's Thursday. It's kind of lackluster. Then the next day, right? Oh, the next day was better, right? And then you come in today. Look, you see it? You talk about being redundant. You talk about monotony. You talk about something that replicates. It's not just the same trade. It's the same exact trade. Those are two different days. Faux show bro VWAP break, faux show bro VWAP break. And for a stock that I never heard of ever, phenomenal action. Faux show bro VWAP break. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, a fake out, shake out, breakout. Stock breaks a new low, comes back, breaks back over that price, then breaks the VWAP. The faux show bro VWAP break on earnings report in 2025 has not failed too often. This is not your coveted 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal trade, but it's damn close. And you know how well it works. So you go back and you check that same stock. Hey, remember that one from Friday? I certainly do. And then it does that thing that you love so much, a faux show to the VWAP and a faux show and a VWAP break. And this is a stock that was at 78 bucks and now it's at 81. That's good money. So you add that to the fact that we actually shorted the Qs, played the fade. Still can't believe it worked, but hey, look, new high, break VWAP, orange line, done. Blue line, orange line. It's rigged. Look, you hit the orange line to the penny, right? And then you got some chop. But that first trade, blue line, orange line, the market's rigged to the algorithm that we built. It can't be more simple to understand because this trade, it makes rational sense, which is something we lack in trading and in life. Rational thought doesn't work, right? But this trade is rational. It makes sense. It's algorithmic and it works. Why is the market selling off? People are taking advantage of the gap, right? Let's say you bought Friday because you know Mondays are usually bullish. Oh, look, you woke up, the Qs are up 4. I'm going to sell half of that position. Oh, good. So will I. And then other firms, they program it in. If VWAP, break, then sell. Continue to sell to prior day VWAP. And then now you're in the hands of some chop, right? But the main trade, blue line, orange line. So then, you know that trade was all right. You know this fade, right? Again, this is just your typical fade. Sorry. 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Sorry, this is more than a fade. But the fade becomes the reversal. That's what's so special about this trade. So you get into it because you know you have a good chance of success. Then comes the milking of the trade. So as you're taking the stock from 385 to 350, winning, 325 winning, and then it just about to go to 350 and it doesn't break. So in fact, this stock is still a short for the person that's originally who shorted it from that rollover. And they're using the 350 and VWAP is pretty much the same price. So the stock still could be a short if anybody was still in it. Opposed to what ON did, it gave you a chance to short it, a second chance, and then those became longs. And that's where we're at. But, you know, if I have to add my common sense to this trade, to the conversation, let me explain what I thought about on Netflix, right? I came in this morning thinking Netflix buy. No doubt. 100% guaranteed. And then it broke VWAP and I was like, all right, I guess not. Now, why am I so super bullish Netflix? Because they did a 10-for-1 split. And in a runaway bull market, splits are bullish because it locks in the value of the stock. Think about it this way. You don't want to buy Netflix for $1,100, right? But 2 weeks from now, it's going to be $110. Suddenly you can afford to buy Netflix. Everyone's going to buy it. So the stock's going to go up. It's not supposed to work like that, but in bull markets, that's the rationale. That's the only rationale you have. So I came in bullish, looking to buy Netflix today. And then it broke VWAP. And then my idea and my premise and all that, I crumpled it up and I threw it in the trash because I trade what I see. And I'm not going to be on the other side of a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal trade, the one that works every single time, just because I thought something. Right. And that's trading, my friends. Stop thinking. Do it. You don't think. You can have an idea. That's as far as thinking goes. But then you let, here, like G-sit, right? Nobody should even be looking at this stock, right? Why are we? Because a couple of days ago, or probably 2 weeks ago now, the stock paid us very well. So it's on our radar. It's in our algo, right? It's on our watch list, so they say. And then you see it do the trade that works. And then you say, wait a second, I'm not supposed to be trading this bullshit, but wait a second, it just did the thing, the fake out, shake out, VWAP break. Maybe I give it a shot, right? And next thing you know, you're in from 865 and the stock goes to 965 and now it's legitimately your favorite trade of the day. You just got to go back. It's chart pattern recognition. And if you don't know, I am the universe's #1 chart pattern recognition trader. There was a guy that claimed to be America's #1 chart pattern recognition trader. So if he's #1 in America, that must make me the universe's #1 pattern recognition trader. You all know the joke. But again, what I'm really good at is accepting the fact that thinking is overrated. Man, I don't want to go near this stock. G-sit, this is a pump and dump garbage stock. Yeah, awesome. But it just faux show broke and broke VWAP. And you forget about where you're thinking and you just buy it. And you make money. Once it becomes redundant, that's when you know you're doing it right. It's the same thing. Right? So you know the Qs tend to sell off every once in a while, right? But you also know what? They never stay down. And that's why VWAP is here to remind you, hey, if you get blue line, orange line, that could be all she wrote. And it looked like it was for a second. I'm done. I'm not short the Qs anymore. And then it overshot to the downside. And I thought, wait a second, am I going to have to short the Qs again? I'm looking at a 10-day VWAP. And then I looked at 5 days worth of data. And then I looked at 10 days again. And I was like, all right, if we break those lows, maybe I'd get excited. Guess what? We didn't break them. So I'm no longer excited about being short the Qs. Plus, you generally don't want to be back. You don't want to be shorting if it goes back above that prior day VWAP. So short's over. And if you took another shot at it, you lost. And now we're just doing some bullish consolidation, which is your typical Monday. And that's where we're at. So FUBU on Sprout Farms. And let me show you a couple other names that could have got you in trouble today, like AREC, right? Some dog shit stock this morning, right? Everyone's excited about it. And then it goes right back to where it came from because 9 out of 10 stocks suck. Actually, more than 9 out of 10, 999 out of 1,000 stocks generally just are pump and dump garbage. But that don't mean you can't go from being a, again, there wasn't really no long trade here, except if you nailed one of those pivots. The inevitable is that where it breaks VWAP, goes to the prior day VWAP, and just gives back the whole thing because, like I said, most of these stocks are garbage. But the one confirmation this morning that gave us permission to short the market was UVXY. UVXY doing that, that's an uptrend, right? Which you just don't see too often on a Monday in a bull market. So then if you can do the one eyebrow raise, you say, oh, wow, what's that? Why would the UVXY be going up on a Friday? That's curious. And then your next thought is, I guess I could short the market right now. Knowing it's not going to last, but you can short the market. So right now, we're in a very weird moment of time at 11:26 on a Monday, and the market's trying to pretend that it wants to go down. Why do I say pretending? I don't know if you've been watching the market lately. Doesn't really want to go down, but right now it's giving you those signs that it's trying. Momentum stocks have run out of momentum. Some of these things are getting hammered. And I don't know where I had this conversation with you earlier. The chart of USAR is basically every stock in my life, as far as I'm concerned. I'm a bear, right? Beautiful trade, bang, got paid, bang, got paid, bang, got paid. This thing became our favorite stock, and then it finally breaks 20. We said, hey, you know what? Let's hang on to some. And if it gets through 20, it could go to $50. It went to 44, and now it's at 16. That's most stocks. You can get in, have the time of your life, but I will never commit cash to any stock ever again in my lifetime, because that seems to be every stock that I buy. You'll have a nice run, and then the run is over, but it just doesn't end. It ends in destruction. So that's why I'm dumping my SRAD, because it's starting to look a lot like every other stock I've ever owned in my life. You have a nice run, right? Everybody's loving SRAD. You got three different analysts upgrading it up here. It's probably the end of the company. And inevitably, every stock looks like a pyramid to me, because the market's a pyramid scam, and I always seem to be the guy. Well, at least this time I got in down here, sold some, and now I'm getting out of the whole thing. They're reporting on Wednesday morning. There's no way I'm sitting through an earnings report right now. I'm dumping what I got left. And if it reverses on Wednesday, I'll be all about it. But if I haven't mentioned, I've got a trade that works every single time. I'm only going to do that, right? And we might have some really boring days now, because if that trade doesn't show up, I'm not trading. And that's how you make money. We have something that works every time. I could wait. And if I got to wait some more, I'll wait some more. By the way, another reason I'm bearish the market is the IPOs all suck now. This IPO came out and it didn't even open up higher than the IPO price. And of course, I own it, because so gracious that Public gave me an IPO. You could buy IPOs on Robinhood. So they were so happy to give it to me at $25. Meanwhile, it never even opened up near 25. It opened up at 22 and plummeted 40%. And if it breaks 1750, chances are it's going to go to zero. You probably didn't even know about this stock existed, but garbage. I mean, what kind of stock goes down in a bull market? Garbage, like Jemmy. But this Netflix trade really is a microcosm of everything I'm trying to say this morning with you guys. It's not about what you think. I came in super bullish Netflix, like dementedly, like I was going to buy 1,000 shares and borrow money from the bank to buy some Netflix today. How's that working out for me? Good thing I don't trade what I think. It's getting freaking hammered. And that's one of my favorite trades. And I love these moments, because it just reminds me, I'm like, I don't need to be right or wrong. I just need to do what is right. I don't need to be right. My commentary doesn't need to be right. That's why I'd rather not say too much. Just stay focused. We got trades at work. Here are the names that they're going to work on. Let's get it. By the way, if you are short the Qs right now, I'm rooting for you because you're on the right side. It's something to behold. We're actually in a kind of a, I'm not going to say a top, but there is no, because there's no top to the market. People who use that word is irresponsible. There's never a top. It's always temporary. There's never a top of the market. They should use the right words. It's a temporary rounding. And that's all this is, right? We've been rounding off. And maybe we do. If it rounds off and then rolls, that's when we start testing some recent lows, which would be pretty cool, I guess. You know, I like volatility. Gives you opportunity on both sides. You know, stagnant bull markets, kind of boring. But the one thing I'm not doing is over trading. Because that also loses you money. You know what else loses you money? Those sucker bets at the craps table. It's amazing. We were rolling some dice. What was that? Friday? Saturday? What day was that? I don't know. It's my birthday week. I'm all kind of fucked up right now. But we went to Atlantic City. We were playing some dice. And me and my friend's wife, she was rolling, kicking ass. I was just telling her what to do. And she's like, what about those? I'm like, I used to bet those all the time. The double ones, 1, 2, 6, 5, and 6, 6. 6, 7. So the ironic thing is we were doing well, and then I put some money on there. We'd lose. Next roll, she hits the snake eyes. I'm like, you see, that's how it happens. She's like, I'm like, watch this. Now we're going to bet on it. You won't roll it. And now we're not going to bet it. Watch, she throws a double 6. I'm like, are you kidding me? But then, I don't know, we quadrupled up on the 8s. She rolled like 3 8s in a row. And we cashed out. And we left. That's how you do it. Go on a nice run, take your money, and go back to drinking and dancing. What was my point to that story? Something about sports gambling and gambling. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all tied together. I'm still not even I'm not over the Blue Jays losing. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? How do you get doubled off in the World Series? By the way, and that ball, that wasn't stuck in the wall. That was bullshit, too. How do you not get a fly ball? What's IKF? What's going on there? Thought I was hallucinating. I was like, how'd they not win? So mad. I hate the Dodgers. So while I got you here, anybody have any questions? Because I got, like I said, I'm doing very, very little. Very little. I got a FUBU trade and a little QQQ short. I haven't done anything since. Missed a bunch of things, but missed opportunity. Every time I miss a trade now, it's one less thing I want to do. I'm playing by my old rules. If I miss a trade, that's the woulda, shoulda. So now that's one less thing I want to do. So I missed Sprouts today. I missed the Netflix short. Well, considering I came in thinking about buying it, it's pretty ironic. But, again, the way you're going to stay in the business and become a profitable trader, let me use a better word, stay. That's the word that every trader can have a couple of good trades. It's about consistency. And how do you stay consistent? Redundancy, monotony, do the same thing all the time, especially if that same thing works. So what do we learn that doesn't work? Buying options into earnings reports, right? And that's a point I want to say. I mean, again, it's only 11:30, but this Rambus trade is worth reviewing probably for the next 6 months and just a brief reminder. Rambus was the trade of the year. As I said, you don't want to be buying options into earnings reports. It's the worst possible trade you can do. You're overpaying and you're guessing, right? And then the next day, the Rambus did exactly what kind of we expected. It got hammered. You lost money on the option play, but did you? Because the next day it gave you a 1 minute multi-day VWAP trade, the trade that never fails. So if you just stuck to the rules, I'm not buying options into earnings reports. Who does that? I bought one contract just to prove a point, and I had the fear of missing out. I didn't want the gap and go without me to at least have 100 shares or whatever. It's not like I did a big trade. But then the next day, the stock does the thing that you love so much that always works. So you got something that never works, and then you got something that always works, like buying 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversals on stocks that report, right? Because that trade was the trade of the year. Because it was exactly why you came in. Oh, Rambus getting hammered. Good thing I didn't buy those options going into that earnings report. Hey, look, it's breaking VWAP after a faux show, bro. Here's where I'm supposed to be buying it. Buy it. Where do I think it's going to go? Probably the orange line. Oh, but while on its way there, it gave you 2 paydays of three faux show bros in one day. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. Fake them out, shake them out, new high break. Fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. Blue line, orange line. Just phenomenal. So that trade here paid for the option loss 8 times over. So now probably these are going to expire worthless. I mean, I don't know what they are now. I think they're $3. We paid 8. Probably just close out the position. I was hoping for something. See, hope doesn't normally work. But this trade is in the books, right? It's already written off. The option trade, it's written off because the trade that we were supposed to be doing worked perfectly. So here's another stock that's on the list today. I know you guys are looking at this one, IREN, this morning, right? Now, very excited this morning, right? I don't even know if this was what was the news on this one? Doesn't matter, right? Earnings are in the news, right? Something's in the news, earnings, you're getting a lot more volume. I don't know what this stock is. I remember trading it at $18 a couple of quarters ago, and apparently it must have been a good investment. I don't know what they do. I don't know what it is. I don't care, right? But it's in the news. It's gapped up. Everyone's loving it. Makes me want to hate it. That's my default. So I wait. So you got to fake out, shake out, VWAP break, but then that turned into the roll. And then right there, something changed dramatically. Fake out, shake out, but it got rejected at the VWAP and rolled over. So if you see the inverse faux show right here, and then it rolls, you're not only not buying this thing, you're shorting it at the 70 with a target of 64, 63, and you're pretty much here already. So great trade. And if you stick to stocks that are in the news, that's going to be the best thing because, well, first of all, it's earnings and stocks that are in the news because that's where there's more volume. And where there's more volume, the VWAP works better. And if you had Georgia -7, you probably pissed off, right? That's why you never bet on teams that you root for. Because if you had the Gators +7, that paid for dinner. And you won the game. Emotional hedging. It's the only way to bet. That stock's in the news too, right? Somebody was saying QURE this morning. Oh my freaking God. I didn't even check. Oh man. I guarantee you that's got to be fantastic, right? Oh, not as fantastic as you'd want to see it, but close enough. You got the faux show. What the fuck? This thing was at $11 this morning. What happened? A drug doesn't do the thing that it was supposed to do. It's doing the opposite. By the way, if a drug winds up killing its patients, it's actually bullish because then they have to do more research. And that sounds crazy, but you don't want your biotech ever to make money because then they could value it in a normal, rational manner, like Pfizer. But my God, look at this. Incredible. Absolute crash. So what is this? This was 7 in the morning. Oh, so this is, wow. It looks like 2 separate days, but that's just the open. Holy cow. So there you go. I mean, that's something. So fake them out, shake them out, VWAP break. That's at $19. Stock went to 30 in 2 minutes. Whoa. And then you fast forward to what's happening now. It's just a VWAP break right at the open. So it's kind of the opposite of the fade. So even a stock where their drug is literally killing people or whatever they do, right? But you don't care. What's QURE? Doesn't matter. It's QURE. Is it breaking VWAP? Yes, buy it. And if you're wrong, you sell it where those pivots are. And in this case, there really was only one. Like, so if it would have broke down, you just would have had to sell it right there at the pre-market low. You're not worried about this. You're worried about recent bias. That's a consolidation at VWAP. If it breaks the consolidation of VWAP, you're going lower. Speaking of that, this stock, buy it right now. Do it. Do it. All right, don't do it. We're a little bit late. But why is this stock on our radar? Because it's going to 0. That's why, right? This was the one from 3 days ago or 4 days ago. We sat around, we traded it a couple of times. And by the way, once again, let me just show you. This is every chart of every stock that I've ever owned. You're doing well for 7 or 8 years, and then, oh, shit. It's basically every chart of every stock that I've ever owned. But now it just went green. Buy it. That's it. That's all you need to know. Buy it. You got a VWAP consolidation, and then a VWAP break, and then a new high break, and then it goes green. And that usually triggers more buyers, right? So you got yourself the 1 minute. And again, the reason I said we're late is that you really want to be buying faux show bro VWAP break, new high break, Kardashian bottom break, multi-day VWAP break, new high break. Now it just finally went green. Yeah, you got an extra 20 or 30 cents out of it. And what was the you just hit pre-market high. So yeah, that might be all she wrote. But you see it's the same kind of stuff. Same stock. SFM, much better choice. And what was the other one? K something or other. I don't even know. KNW. Wasn't there another one? Oh, LNW, right? LNW. There you go. Still keeping an eye on it. I like when a stock gets destroyed, and it starts to come back, you'll get some decent squeezes. But man, and this is a real company, right? Fiserv, that's down to 10-year lows now. Yes. Who's going to blink first? You won. I blinked. Don't you blink? Oh, blinked. Oh, you just want to go outside, right? All right, hang on. Let me get my dog outside. There he is. Nah, he's 10 years old now. But he's spry like a puppy still, right? You want to go outside, right? And go. And go. And go. Just go. Go. Oh, see, I can't even put you in a losing trade if I tried. Right? I can't even find you a loser if I tried to find you a loser. You know why this is a winning trade? Because it's a 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. Now, again, if let's say you just bought it late, sell it right now. Take your 30 cents. Seriously, do it. Sell it. Sell it. Sell it. You don't have to sell it all. But if you just got in at 66.70, now it's at up 30 cents. You take the money and say thanks. And if it breaks over 67, you look for 67.25 next. You see, the reason these trades work is that they work. I don't need another reason, right? Why are we looking at the stock? They reported earnings 4 or 5 days ago. Still on our radar because it really hasn't done anything. All right, cool. Missed the best entry, missed the second best entry, you missed the third entry, but then it goes green, and usually there's a little bit more there for you. And this is the little bit more. You know, again, a typical day trader, you're buying, maybe 1,000 shares, right? $65 stock. Most of us can rock 1,000 shares. It's not like you're investing $67,000. You're just playing the game. You buy 1,000 shares. The thing pops 30 cents is $300. And what is that? 3.5 minutes? Sounds like what we're going to be doing in Vegas. What's up? Who's coming to Vegas? What happens for $300 in 3.5 minutes? I don't know. What are you implying, Kenny? I don't know. Why are we having this conversation? I don't know. You started it. This guy's waiting for me to come to Vegas. All right, I'll be there. Hopefully I'm doing all my stuff on Tuesday because, man, if I have to do a presentation on Wednesday, it might not go well. So I better be on Tuesday's docket. I'll have to get an AI stand-in. Karaoke usually gets a little bit crazy. Guys going to do karaoke with me. Got a table at the Cosmo. So the only thing I'm thinking about doing, and I know it's probably the reason I'm thinking about doing is will keep me from not doing anything, shorting the queues. I was thinking about shorting the queues one more time today. Just, the market just seems heavy, but UVXY is fading away, and soon it'll be 12 o'clock. And if you're making money on this FI trade, like I said, if you just got in because you need to hear me say, buy it now, well, I'm also telling you to sell it now. Sell 50% at least. Take the money. Don't be Jimmy. You just told us to buy it. Right. Now I'm telling you to sell it too. You're over the 2-day. How about, ooh, look at that. 3 days. Wow. I'd be happy with 67.50. You get over 67.50, you could start thinking 69 and change. But this stock is busted. At least you got something out of it right here. So the way to stay in any trade is like you sell some and then you raise your stop to, let's say, break even. So if you bought 66, 70, you're selling half at the right here. You put the stop at break even. Now you can't lose. You'll just give back a little bit of what you're up. You hear what I'm saying? Hey, by the way, I mean, they're throwing these metals and nuclear stocks out the window. What was it called? The baby with the bathwater? They're going to turn soon and they're going to be all squeezed, every single one of them. And then on the next rollover, the ones that are going to be good will stay all right. But then we'll know the difference within the next couple of weeks. Because the ones that roll over after their first squeeze are the ones that are going to go to zero. And then we'll see which ones are legitimately going to hang in there. We'll see. But it's the same trade always. Everybody gets in, and then everybody runs for the exits, right? And then we see which stocks are legitimate within the next couple of weeks or months. But none of that matters because you just bought FI, and you're just waiting to see if it gets to 67.25 and then 67.50, hopefully. Speaking of beaten up stocks today, Kimberly-Clark will be a buy either tomorrow or later today or tomorrow or the next day because the acquirer in a risk arbitrage situation, the acquirer will go down, the acquired will go up, which is Kenview. And then a couple of days from now, they'll start doing more math and see what the value added to Kimberly-Clark will be. And inevitably, the stock will start back up because Kimberly-Clark's a juggernaut. So you got to keep Kimberly-Clark. I wouldn't keep Kenview on the list because I don't care. Kimberly-Clark's going to be the parent company. Inevitably, that this dip will be bought. So this is a bear market, what we're witnessing right here. The market trying to go down. This is as bearish as we get, right? We don't really go down too much anymore. Last week, probably, I don't want to admit it, but might be generational lows. I hope I'm wrong about that. So to surmise, right? To surmise, I don't care is the theme of today. I don't care. I don't care about Clove or SRAT or V-Wave. I don't care where the Qs are going to be 3.5 years from now. We all have our assumptions. I'm only trading the trades that work every time. And if you'd like to learn more about those, I will be more than happy to teach you. I will keep putting you in front of these ideas, such as when one comes by. And again, if we were watching this a little bit earlier, we'd be in this a lot cheaper. Navigating the market is what I do. Keeping people in the front and right on the right side of their trades. That's what I do. And teaching the ways of the VWAP will clearly and crystallize everything that you need to know about the market. And what it will do is also remind you of how wrong you are, like Netflix today. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not upset about being wrong. I came in super bullish the stock. It was already gapped up. I was like, all right, let me wait for a dip to buy. And the dip became a sell-off. And I never bought it because the market told me not to. And the reason I'm bringing it up again is that that is how you need to trade. You need to forget about what you think. I think we're all, I don't know, and I'm talking from the bear standpoint, right? I think we're all convinced we're going higher, right? From here. There's no way to, the valuation, the bubble talk, who gives a shit, right? Of course we're in a bubble. And it could last for the next 6 to 7 years. And the same conversation we're having today was the same conversation we had 11 years ago. And it's the same conversation we're going to have 4 years from now when the market's up another 100%. You can't live in denial, right? Right? Like the market. That's it. You just lived through the bear market of 2025. There it was. UVXY is red. All systems go. Typical Monday. Fade works. And then we get into some bullish chop and inevitably somehow close at the highs of the day. I hope I'm wrong. And again, I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that's what typically happens. And someone said, how do I know about that? I'm like, how do I know about what? This gesture? I don't know. It's been around a while, right? Hey, how do you know about that? I'm like, what are you talking about? 6-7. I'm like, who's 6-7? He's like, you just did that thing. I'm like, did I? I guess I'm cool. 6-7. Yeah. Typically do about 6 or 7 trades a day. What? But I'm going to go eat breakfast and go play with my dog. And if you're on the FI, you know the drill, right? 6.6, 6.9. Well, depends on where you bought it, 6.7 or 6.9. You're looking for 67.25. Wait, maybe we get it before we leave. You should be on the offer. So what does that mean? You have your order out at 67.25 and 67.49. So let's say it spikes. Your orders are out there. And let me, if you guys need you need a quick reminder why the market's not going down. Let me explain. Tesla is going to 3,000. NVIDIA is going to 500. There you go. That's it. It's the only premise you need. We're not going down. So as long as they keep talking about the thousands of reasons why we're supposed to be going down and how overvalued the stocks are, no, and no. But that doesn't matter to you because you just sold some at 67.25. There you go. Right? So now what do? You just sold some at 67. You just sold some at 67.25. So now what do? Raise your stop to 66.92 and you're looking for 67.50. And then you raise your stop to 67.25 and then you can't lose. That's trading. And if you're going to day trade, there's very specific rules to play with. You want to buy the market and I'll see you in 3 years? Yeah, you're going to be all right. But if you want to generate income to then put into the queues, this is the way to do it. There's nobody better at it than my friend and I. And his name is Solid. My name is Kenny Glick. And that is my time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. This and much more algorithmic trading tomorrow. There will be no schmooze this weekend either. I'm going out. It's my birthday. Going out every night. Party every night. If anybody wants to buy me anything, reposado, weed, and silver coins. I'll give you my home address. I'll see you in Vegas. Have a great day. Where's Kimberly Clark going? Nowhere. Y'all have a great rest of the day. And be careful. Don't overtrade. Make sure you're using proper stops. And remember, the market's rigged. We have the rigging. And if you'd like to see more, join our website, because this is what I do every day.